I am down horrendously bad. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fruit Basket, where today we got a couple things to talk about in terms of shit that came out in regards to Spider-Man, Superman, and Marvel Rivals. So starting off, we're going to be talking about the new Spider-Man movie that was announced by Sony during like the last day of March. It was like not right at midnight, but it was towards midnight. A lot of people I saw speculated that this could have been like an April Fool's prank. But they released the title of the movie. It's going to come out next year, and it's going to be called Brand New Day, which, if you don't know, is a callback to this storyline that happened after like One More Day, where the marriage was broken up by Mephisto. It was a terrible story. This followed afterwards, where it kind of rebuilt Spider-Man after that, retconned a lot of stuff. Not a great time in Marvel Spider-Man history, and they're making a movie about it. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I've heard some people say that this will more than likely take place before Doomsday, and the ending will be affected by Doomsday. Like, the ending of the movie will probably be similar to how Ant-Man and the Wasp came out after Infinity War, but the ending of that movie played into Infinity War with Wasp, Hank, and Janet being, dusted. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. Like, is Doomsday going to play an effect to it? Maybe we'll get a post-credit scene where like the universe gets destroyed by the incursion, or maybe Spider-Man's dealing with the incursions. But with this main story, with the main movie itself, I hope it has nothing to do with multiversal stuff. There was some back and forth apparently with Sony and Marvel, where Sony wanted to rely more on the Spider-Verse, multiverse stuff, while Kevin Feige and Marvel wanted to go with a more street level. I think going with a more street level is definitely for the best, and I hope they keep it like that. Apparently there's plans for them to have Chameleon be a big bad in the movie. There's also been talks of a 30-year-old to 40-year-old or 50-year-old Asian man being cast in the movie, which could mean that Mr. Negative might be able to appear. But we'll just have to wait and see. This is all we kind of have in terms of, any news regarding the story. There was a woman who was cast for the movie, and some people are speculating that this could be the real MJ being cast. Maybe it's Gwen, maybe it's Jean Grey. I don't remember the actress who is playing this new female character, but people are just heavily speculating on who she's going to, because they never specified who she's going to play. They just made a big deal over being like, hey, we cast her for this movie. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this. I was honestly skeptical if a Spider-Man 4 would ever even happen in the first place. It's interesting to see this will be the first Spider-Man movie to get a fourth movie. Also, what I really like about this title, even though I feel like this font is going to be changed, is that this Spider-Man font for Spider-Man is very reminiscent of this sort of Spider-Man font, which was really like early 2000s sort of inspired, which is, where I and a lot of fans, like this creator more than likely, like this person on Twitter more than likely, grew up in. It's very like nostalgic to a lot of people. Obviously created by Scott Johnson, who, as it says in his bio, was an artist for a lot of Marvel merchandise. Was very much behind this iconic image of Spider-Man that a lot of kids probably seen growing up. We also got our first look at Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is coming out in 2 years, which hopefully means that the animators have more than enough time to actually work on this movie instead of being rushed by Sony, which was a fear for a lot of people when this movie was supposed to come out last year. I believe. And it was like 1 year after Across the Spider-Verse, and people were just like, there's no way they're going to be able to make this in 1 year. And I believe the SAG-AFTRA strikes really also played into it, but yeah, they pushed it back to 2027, which is obviously for the best. This just looks great, and it's probably not even that finished, like this shot. We got this great look at Miles G. Morales as the Prowler. These shots so far look pretty great. This is all we really have so far. There's not a lot to go off of, but I just hope they allow the animators to take their time with this and to allow the creative team behind them, like the writers and shit like that, to really focus on honing on their story and make it just as good as the other two. But yeah, when it comes to the Spider-Man news, there's not much to talk about. I could speculate what I think this movie is going to be about. Brand New Day. Again, I feel like it's going to be more street level. I feel like Marvel is going to kind of get their way when it comes to the multiverse stuff, and maybe Sony, with the street level stuff, and then Sony will get their multiversal stuff with like the post-credit scene. Who knows? They could probably bring back Toby and Andrew for the post-credit scene, just to be like, hey, we need your help to fight Doctor Doom. But I think it's mostly going to be, or at least I hope it's going to be, Peter trying to focus on rebuilding his life following Doctor Strange, erasing his identity from everyone's minds. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I kind of hope nobody from the Home trilogy comes back. I kind of hope Zendaya doesn't come back. Same with Genki. Well, not Genki. Fake Genki, Ned Leeds. I don't know. I hope we get to see a different version of this sort of new take on Spider-Man and just leave all that other stuff behind, because I really didn't care for a lot of the I didn't really care for that much of the Marvel the first 3 movies and how they kind of set up Spider-Man in this universe. I really did not care for Michelle Jones. Zendaya is a great actress, but I really just did not care for how they writ Michelle Jones and why they didn't just make her MJ. Same with Ned Leeds. He's just Genki from the Ultimate Comics. I hope they work on a lot more Peter Parker type characters instead of just trying to fit Miles characters into this Tom Holland Spider-Man. And hopefully with Daniel, I forget who the director is. I believe his first name is Daniel. I think it's Daniel Cretton. I think that's what his name is. The director of Shang-Chi. I hope he gets his way of trying to keep this more grounded, because apparently he was the one who was really going for that. He has talked on this movie a bit, and you can just tell from how he talks about Spider-Man as a character that he truly gets it, and he is very very passionate on working on this movie. So I don't know. I hope he gets his way, but it's still Marvel, and they like to kind of put their dick in a lot of creative artists' visions. So it could be a mess. I just hope that they try their best to keep this grounded and allow the director to do what he wants without shoving shit, a bunch of multiversal shit into this, because I feel like people are just kind of tired of this multiverse stuff. I think it's just getting too much for a lot of people. And also, you're also doing that with the Spider-Verse movies already. Okay, if you want to focus on Spider-Man and the multiverse, just do it over there. You don't need to do it with every Spider-Man project that you do. Surprisingly, the ones they keep kind of grounded are the ones that don't involve Spider-Man, like Venom and Kraven and Morbius. Those are more grounded than the Spider-Man movies have been for the last 10 years. But moving on, we're gonna look at the trailer for the next season of Marvel Rivals, which is going to be about the Hellfire Gala with Ultron invading. We'll probably watch with the sound off, just because I don't want to get copyright striked or whatever. We're probably not gonna watch all of it. We're just gonna kind of zoom by it. We get our first look at Emma Frost, and dude, I am down horrendously bad. I am down biblically. Every single thing that they have shown, because there's also a character trailer showcasing her moveset. It's just there hasn't been a character that I've really been down bad for with Marvel Rivals, even though everybody calls it a Gooner Fest or whatever. There's some good looking characters in it, but Emma Frost is the one that has me down bad. Oh, just the walk. They even give her jiggle physics. I'm even surprised they kept her diamond skin in this, but I'm not that surprised now that I know that she's going to be a Vanguard. But like she has like a mind beam. I don't like an energy projection or whatever. Some of the stuff I don't even know what it is. I know this is like obviously a shield, but I don't know like what she did against Groot. But yeah, that can fucking block the Iron Man ult. That's insane. Then you got like the melee diamond form, which I believe gives her more health. No, it doesn't. I think it just like gives her a bit of armor, makes her tankier. Also allows her to pick people up and by the neck and throw them down. And when I saw that, I was squirming in my seat. Like, I don't know. Oh, God. And she even has a powerful kick. Just like in this, like, I guess this is going to be like her MVP animation. Just like, I'm not a big blonde guy. I'm not. But I think this might turn me into a blonde guy. And I guess her ult is like this mind control thing that you can use to kind of like put them in a trance and like send them over the edge or just like keep them vulnerable. Also, what I really liked about this has like nothing to do with Emma Frost, is like you have these characters and they're throwing their punches, they're shooting stuff at, I guess, Human Torch. What is the Thing doing in here? Like at least with Hela and Namor, they're kind of like they're kind of like hit scan characters. What is the Thing doing against the Human Torch? I don't know. It's kind of stupid, but like it's just like a funny thing that I noticed. Also, like I'm not lying when I meant that they gave her jiggle physics. I'm not just talking about her chest. Look at the thighs. The thighs have jiggle physics. The thighs have jiggle physics. Also, as you see here, we're gonna get a bunch of skins for this game as well. For like the season, we're getting like a tropical rocket. We're getting a Prince Star-Lord. Obviously, if you see here, we're getting Ultron in the season. He's going to be one of the starting 2 characters alongside Emma Frost. We're getting like a royal suit for Black Panther, some royal suits for Cloak and Dagger, but we did see other skins in this trailer. But yeah, like this whole event is people being invited to the Hellfire Gala. Here's the Black Panther suit. Here's the Captain America suit, where he kind of looks like Cody Rhodes from how I've seen some people say it. We got this awesome Black Widow suit. I love this one. And we have a Joe Fixit Bruce Banner Hulk suit, and it just looks so good. Unfortunately, we don't see the Hulk form in this trailer though. But yeah, we have like some skins that already came out, like the House of M, Magneto skin, the Goddess of Thunder Storm skin. We have this one where she kind of looks like Cruella, like Luna Snow looks like Cruella. We got the Patch Wolverine skin. We got, I think the skin is already out. Maybe it's a new one. And we already have this skin that's out, which is the President Loki one, which I talked to my friend about, and they were curious. They were just like, why did they showcase this Loki skin as if it's new when it's already out? And I was like, they probably have a lot of skins they want to like release this season, and they just released this one early just because they didn't have they just had too much or something. But yeah, we got that new Cloak and Dagger skin. Emma's giving a speech about Welcome to the Hellfire Gala. We got some X-Men classic skins for Magic and Psylocke. There was a what the fuck? Doctor Doom 2099 is just hanging out here. And then, we get an evil portal coming out, and then we have Ultron. Yeah, Ultron's gonna be in the season. They didn't showcase any new skins for him. We do have a skin already revealed for Emma Frost, and it's going to be like her black skin, like her black costume. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Ultron. I feel like they're going to use his drones as like a sort of attack. They would have to be, but it looks pretty cool. I'm excited for this new season to drop. I've been kind of taking a break from Marvel Rivals lately just because it's been a while since I've completed the Battle Pass anyway. So it's like, why do I really need to play all that much? The only reason I just haven't had a lot of time lately. I do want to get back into it though before this new season starts. But it's like one of those situations where outside of that little board game thing they've been doing lately, it's like, I don't really feel the need to play. But with this coming out with the new maps, with the new characters, it would definitely have me hop on, especially with Emma Frost. Oh god, I don't want to get into it too. I don't want to go any further into it because there's obviously the conversation with people being like, oh, like all of the Gooner bait stuff. That's like the discussion that's happening on Twitter. I don't even want to get into that. I think some of it is definitely fair. Especially in regards to some female characters, but like Emma Frost is one of those characters that's like she's always kind of been presented sexually, so I don't think it's fair to complain that much about it when it is Emma Frost. Like, I'm trying to think of like, you know, like maybe Magic, but I don't even think Magic is portrayed that sexually in the game in terms of like characters who shouldn't be sexualized all that much, but I don't even think Magic is treated that way. I don't know. I think there is a fair conversation with people who do make that argument, but like when it comes to like people making that argument in terms of Emma Frost, I just don't see it. I feel the same way about the argument with like fucking the people who say that Invisible Woman, Cloak and Dagger, and Emma Frost all look the same, and I'm just like, am I the only one who doesn't have this problem? Like, it feels like people complaining about that just don't play the game, and they're just complaining about character designs without realizing that people can't tell the difference during the game. Because I've never had the problem being like, oh, I thought this was Invisible Woman, but it was actually Cloak. I just never had that problem. I don't understand where some people are coming with that. Like, and I understand some people's arguments of being like, well, why did Invisible Woman's suit need to be white, like mostly white? And I understand that. But at the same time, it's still like I don't like have that much of an issue with it. I think it's just a skill issue. Also, like, surprise, surprise, a white blonde woman with blue eyes looks like another white blonde woman with blue eyes. Alright, now to wrap this up, we're going to look at the new sneak peek for Superman. We'll probably play this one with audio. I mean, we're not going to watch all of it because most of it is literally just the trailer, like the first trailer, but obviously there was a more extended look at this with Krypto. So we get this, which is very reminiscent of the opening scene for the first trailer. Superman comes flying down. He got Yamcha'd, just taking a nap. And then he whistles for Krypto. I feel like this is gonna be our introduction to Krypto in the movie too. Like, I do believe we probably won't see him until this moment. We get to see him run towards Superman, and he just starts going after him. Being a bad dog. Well, he's not even a bad dog, really. He just doesn't understand. He just thinks it's playtime. He's like, oh, you whistled? It's playtime? It's playtime now? We already seen like this shot, but it turns out that the fortress is like right there. But I do kind of like the implication of like Superman was trying to get to the fortress, but he was just so battered and bruised he couldn't make it and needed Krypto's help. And Krypto just starts attacking him because he just doesn't understand. But also, like, this shot just looks great of like the crystals coming from the ground. And the music too. And this is kind of when the All-Star Superman influence definitely takes place with like the robots. I do like this little tidbit of like they use like a you know, like an amplifier to like speed up his healing with the sun. And this extended scene got a lot of conversation started on Twitter, of course, mostly from Snyder fans. For the most part, it seems like, you know, regular people liked this, like it because it's fun. But of course, Snyder fans have to hijack everything when it comes to DC and this new Superman movie about like, oh, it's shit, it's bad, they made Superman weak, he looks like a weak beta, shit like that. It's just it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I hate how they just are able to hijack every conversation about this movie just to be fucking morons. I feel like at this point they don't really need to be discussed anymore. I feel like people just need to move on from like trying to engage with them because they obviously can be reasoned with, and it's getting to the point that like everybody who comes across this fucking cult is getting tired of them. Like, I've seen movie YouTubers and comic book YouTubers who are just like getting tired of them and are just like, yeah, these people are fucking annoying. They come off as weirdos. So I don't think it's productive to try to even engage with these people anymore, because it's not gonna mean anything. Twitter doesn't mean anything, and I think people really just need to get over that. Like, there are some people who are just on this website so much that they think it's real life, and it would do them so much good if they just went outside and touched grass, because maybe they would stop being fucking weirdos online and try to like hijack every conversation into like talking shit about the new DCU and how they need to bring back Zack Snyder and restore the Snyderverse. Like, if they just had people to actually talk to that just wasn't like over a screen, they would realize how stupid it is to waste your time on this shit. But like, moving on from this, like, I already had a lot of like hype going into this movie based off the first trailer, but this like extended scene, like how it looks, how it's shot, the interaction he has with Crypto, like this scene alone has made me more interested, has made me care more about Crypto than I probably ever have. It's like, I never really cared for Crypto, and I've also seen some people mad, not even like Snyder fans, just like some people, even people that I follow, who got mad at David Cornsweet talking about Crypto and how he's going to be portrayed in the movie, where he essentially describes him as not his dog. Like, Crypto is not Superman's dog, which is it gives way to a rumor that's been going around that Crypto is going to be Supergirl's dog, which to me is like completely fine, but some people have been getting up in arms about it, being like, oh my god, this movie's gonna suck because Superman doesn't own Crypto. I've seen some people say that Crypto has to be Superman's dog because Crypto was the first thing on Earth that he could actually relate to, and I find that like just so weird. Like, no, like the good thing about Superman is that he could relate to humans even though he is different. I've seen some people's takes on that and it's just so fucking weird. And also, I hate people who are just like, no, this has to be like 100% accurate to comics. Like, I hate the comic accuracy people who like throw a fit if something's even a little bit off from how it's portrayed in like the comics, because while I do feel like if you're going to make a movie in regards to a certain comic book character or a certain comic book storyline, you should try your best to be as accurate as you can be in terms of like the tone, the character, and shit like that. If you have to make changes for the sake of your movie to make a good movie, like if the movie that you want to tell doesn't work because there is like a characterization of a certain character that doesn't fit into your movie, and you just want to tweak it a bit, not change it up like drastically, just like tweak a few things that's not like incredibly noticeable to like, you know, the average moviegoer who probably doesn't have that much of an understanding of these characters anyway, or to like, you know, the basic comic book fan, then that's fine. Like, there's plenty of Batman adaptations that aren't one for one with Batman that I love. Despite being a big Batman fan, I realize that Batman's character, you know, isn't one-to-one in a lot of adaptations, and I can still enjoy and love those adaptations. Like, the Batman is not a perfect one-to-one adaptation of like Batman in the comic books, but I still love it. So I feel like with some people being upset about how Crypto was being described by David Cornsweet and then throwing a fit over it, I think they need to get over themselves. Like, at the end of the day, it should matter if the movie is good or not if it's accurate. Like, not if it's one-for-one accurate. It's the same with like how I've seen some people talk about the Devil May Cry show that's been out on Netflix. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. It looks so good. And I am loving the show. I love the characters. I love the, humorous bits. I love Dante. I'm not the biggest Devil May Cry fan. I haven't really played the games all the way through. I used to own like the definitive version, but I just never played all the way through it when I had like an Xbox One. I still have it. I probably still could play through it. I just need to get it up and running, but it's been years since I've actually played it. But, you know, I've seen some people complain, but at the end of the day, it's been mostly losers talking about it and complaining about it. For the most part, it seems like people have been enjoying it. But yeah, it's like a great show. And even if it's not a one-for-one adaptation, if it's a good show, it's a good show. Like, I'm sorry, maybe it's because like I don't know, I just don't understand that much, especially when it comes to comic book fans and them complaining about something being 100% accurate or not, because like Batman as a character is constantly evolved, or not even evolved, but is always interpreted differently from one book to the next, because different creators are going to have different things to say on the character. So, their attitudes and their tone is going to change. Like, if you've ever read Batman Universe by Brian Michael Bendis, it's not going to be the same as like Scott Snyder's Batman, or Jeff Loeb's Batman from Batman Hush, or like Batman from Under the Red Hood, or Batman from Batman Damned, or The Dark Knight Returns. Like, it's all going to be different. And you can definitely find similarities between all three, all of those interpretations, but it's never going to be like one for one all the way through, because they needed to change up his character a bit to fit their stories. And those, like, in all of those stories are like pretty good stories. Even Batman Damned, I wish people like gave another shot at. I feel like a lot of people just kind of like toss it away without really, diving into it, just because they showed Batman's dick, which is definitely funny when it comes to like the outrage about it, but I feel like people really didn't give that book a shot. But in terms of like like all the stories I mentioned, Batman isn't the same character, but those are still good Batman stories. So you can obviously change up character and change up interpretations of a character in order to fit your story more. It just matters if it's a good story. Like, that's all that really matters. And I would, I like that, obviously, that this Superman is a more accurate Superman than like a Henry Cavill Superman. Well, let me rephrase that. And like, some people might make the argument of being like, well, what about Man of Steel or the Snyderverse stuff? Those are changes to characters in favor of a story. But I would argue that the Snyderverse doesn't have a good story. And also that those are like very drastic changes to characters that make it so that they're not even those characters anymore. Like, even with what I mentioned earlier, with like the different interpretations of Batman through comic book stories, again, they still keep a baseline of the character through all of those stories. Like, there's always a baseline that keeps that character, Batman at his core, even if they are widely different stories. Like, Batman Universe deals with like shit outside of Gotham, with aliens and time travel, and Dark Knight Returns is a very grounded story about an older, darker Batman. But when it comes to how Batman is interpreted in each of those stories, there's still similarities that you can find between those two. Like, he's still a very determined character that will always do the best that he can, do what's right. He's still Batman at the core. If you were to, like, say, for instance, comparing Dark Knight Returns Batman to BVS Batman, they're very different characters. Like, even though BVS Batman is supposed to be like an adaptation of the Dark Knight Returns Batman, they are still very different characters, with the biggest difference being like he uses guns in the movie, and in the comic, Batman makes a point of being like, don't use guns. Like, even that, like, in-your-face moment where Dark Knight Returns Batman is like, do not use guns. Zack Snyder apparently didn't notice that, and was like, yeah, I'm gonna have him use a gun. I'm gonna have him kill people, even though that's like a big part of his character in the comic, is that he doesn't do that. Now, guns are tools that are used by the enemy. Even though he does use a gun in one scene, even though he doesn't even kill the person, I guess he just didn't understand that. Like, that's a big problem when it comes to, changing up a character so much to the fact that there aren't the character anymore. Like, that's a good example of like a bad adaptation. But you can make a good adaptation even if you have to change the characters, like, just like a bit. Like, in The Batman, he's still Batman. Like, he's still very accurate to what Batman is supposed to be in the comics. It's more like, especially when it comes to early Batman, when he's like darker and a little more brutal and less hopeful, and people are scared of him. But he ends up becoming more of what Batman truly is by the end of the movie. So, like, when it comes to people complaining about like one-to-one adaptations and how, creators don't do it, I don't really have a problem with that, because as long as the product is good, you can change what you want. As long as you try to like keep the core tenements of a character, because if you don't do that, then the project probably isn't going to be good. Anyways, like Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn changed those characters up a lot, but it was still a good movie, and those characters were, actually no, he did kind of change them up a bit. He kind of drastically changed them up a bit, but like, they were characters that like a lot of people didn't care about anyways. So like, that's not even a good argument. Yeah, that doesn't really support, but like, whatever, moving on. I think we're just gonna end it here. But yeah, there's a lot of news. when it comes to the Spider-Man stuff, it's a lot of nothing. Honestly, it's just like, the movie's coming out. The movie's coming out, and that's about it. Marvel Rivals, big drop, that's coming next week. I will definitely be making a video when this drops about, just like a gameplay video on my gaming channel, Fruity Sword Gaming, that you can subscribe to. Yeah, when this season starts, I'll definitely make a video, and I'll probably upload the video sometime the week that it comes out. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully we can get a Krakoa map, but those will probably be boosted anyways, just so people can actually get to it. But maybe not. It took me a couple of games, like over 10 games, I feel like, to actually play like the Central Park map when that launched during the mid-season, I believe. Speaking of which, no news on when Blade is going to be playable. It's not been good news for Blade recently. His movie has apparently been scrapped. His game probably isn't going to come out. There was an announcement for his game, for him to get a solo game, but there's been no news on that. And I don't know, he might come out mid-season. We haven't had any news in terms of like who the mid-season characters are going to be. We have gotten news that they're going to shrink the length of the seasons. So with this season 1, it was 3 months that it went for. Now it's going to be 2. I'm a little worried that they're going to be forcing a lot on their creative team. Hopefully they're being treated right, but I don't know. That's like the very unfortunate thing about it. As a consumer, I think that's cool that we're getting more content, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, I really hope they're treating their team well, even though I don't think they are, because that's how it kind of works in the gaming industry. You gotta crunch, and it turns out shittier projects. It just so happens that this product has been pretty good so far. But yeah, that's all I gotta really say. There's not really much else. I don't know. I was planning on covering another topic like a couple of days ago, but then this stuff just started releasing like crazy, just one after another. We got Spider-Man, Marvel Rivals, Superman. A lot of news came out recently, so I feel like we're probably gonna get like a dry week next week. I feel like that's how it tends to go, where Marvel and DC and like a lot of companies are just like, here's a bunch of shit and then nothing afterwards. But I don't know. Last week we got the Doomsday announcement, but that doesn't really feel like it was that big in all honesty. Speaking of which, it's so weird when it comes to Doomsday, because with that video, with that live stream, they were like, we are now in production. Like, we are in production now, and apparently they're starting filming now. You guys only were in a production for like 2 weeks? Doesn't seem good. Does not have my faith that this project is going to be that good, because they're probably still writing it. Like, they're probably starting to film stuff and they're still writing the script, because there's no way you got the script done in like a week or so. But yeah, we're just end it here. No need to really talk about much else. I feel like I said everything I wanted to say. So I will see you all next time. Shit. I was streaming, not recording. Fuck, the quality's gonna look so bad. Hello everyone, thank you for watching today's video. If you would like to see more videos like this, please leave a like and subscribe down below. If you would like to check out my main channel where I do political commentary as well as talk about internet drama and stuff like that, go follow my main channel, Fruity Sword. If you would like to check out my gaming videos, you can follow me at Fruity Sword Gaming. But that's all I had to say for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching once again, and I will see you next time.